Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Fill Your Cup with Srna Stos
and Jackie Shamas.
We're excited for this week's episode because I think a lot of people can relate.
A lot of you guys are going to relate. We actually got an email that we want to read. It's a little lengthy, but I promise you're going to relate to this. Yeah. So I'm just going to get into it, okay?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Hi, Srna and Jackie. I recently discovered your podcast on TikTok and decided to listen to episode 1, It's Time to Fill Your Cup. I got chills listening to this episode for many reasons. 1, the art and beauty of your friendship. 2, the in-depth details regarding each unfortunate situation and turning it into a meaningful learning experience. And 3, inspiring the audience to fill your cup first before filling the cups of others. Amen. I see myself in both of you ladies. I see a bunch of beautiful adults who have experienced and lived so much in life, both the good and the bad. Despite experiencing the bad parts, you both have been able to transform yourself into the amazing version of yourself. I aspire to be like you ladies one day, and I hope to be genuinely happy with myself. My question to you ladies is the following, and I want to answer the question first, and then we'll get into her email. Why do exes reappear and then ghost again?
So I think that, trust me, I've had to ask myself this question more times than I would like to.
I don't think you've shared your experience from a very recent relationship where he disappeared and reappeared. So
he's done it like multiple times.
Right.
So yeah.
I think there was a big
gap. Yeah.
At one point.
And it was exactly when I was over it. And then I had made the new, so basically my last relationship, we had, and this was when I was unhealed. The first time we started seeing each other, I wasn't in a good place. It was a couple of years ago. And it was a very up and down relationship, and I was very easily influenced. I was very lost, and we spoke about kind of the way I was influenced. And then we had a big blow up fight where it just ended horribly. And when it came time to talk it out, we couldn't. It was just too many emotions and a big blow up, and we never were able to kind of revisit it. And I went through kind of a really big healing phase, and I had deleted my old Instagram, made a private one just to kind of weed out all the negative energy in my life and really start over. And then like 6 months after,
was it really 6 months? Wow. Okay.
I get a follow from him.
Yeah.
And that just opened a whole can of worms, and then a text, and then just coming back. And then we had a little blip of seeing each other again, and then again kind of faded off because it was just a lot of issues there. Like a lot of issues disappear, come back. And it was on me too. But then this last time he came back again, and I said, I can't do this anymore, of this up and down. And if you're not ready for a relationship, like the way you really need to deliver for me, then please let's not do, like, we're good, no hard feelings, but let's just not do this to each other. And he was like, oh my gosh, yes, of course, promise like the world and all this stuff. And then again, I spoke about what happened.
Right.
And I think a big thing, there's a number of reasons why I think it's very specific to each situation, but I think that exes come back for a number of reasons, and it's always interesting because they come back when you're healed.
Yes, they can almost sense it from a mile away.
They do, because your energy, energy,
right? And
you radiate this energy, and people cannot. And there was another kind of quote I saw as well about sometimes people gain clarity in your absence. You can't see the beauty of someone or something unless it's taken away from you.
Yeah.
And that's another big part of also being able to walk away and respect yourself and love yourself enough to be able to walk away. Because in the long run, as painful as it is, it pays off.
I also think a lot of the times they come back because they know you provide them a sense of comfort. And that doesn't mean they want to be with you, but it means they know how you make them feel.
Yeah.
It means they know miss it. That they're attracted to you. It means they know how you guys have conversations. They just miss that comfort. But it doesn't mean that they want to be in a relationship with you.
But I think 100%, it does not mean that. And I think that we also spoke about it. When someone comes back, sometimes it doesn't mean they necessarily miss you and want to be with you, it means that their ego wants to validate that you miss them.
Right.
And it's important to be able to kind of be aware. And I'm all about we're all about second chances. We are. But I think that also you can't blindly, people have to, actions speak louder than words.
Yeah.
And people, you can say sweet things, you can, but you can't be impressed by the bare minimum because someone came back and texted you like,
it doesn't mean that they want to pursue something with you, and that's not what you deserve.
No. And I think that we as women, especially, we want to see the best in people, especially when you've invested time and effort into someone. But I also think that people come back, people that are secure and happy with themselves, they will come back with a purpose. Someone that's not able to, listen, you're not signing a war declaration by being in a relationship.
Yeah.
People now is like, I'm not ready. Like what? Then you're not confident and you're not happy with yourself. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. I've had situations where it's so interesting when I've brought up like, what's going to happen next? They're like, I don't want to commit, but I also don't want to lose you. And I'm like, then don't come back because that's not committing and that's not being in a relationship. So why are you coming back? What's the purpose? But I want to get into the email to see what we think. So I think I'm going to give you one paragraph, and it's a long one. So I'm going to give you one paragraph and then I'll read the first. I was in a relationship with a guy for 3 years. He broke up with me and we ended things kind of in a bad manner. Okay, I think you're going to relate to this one. A month after,
ended in a bad manner,
I remember reading it. Yeah. A month after breaking up, I discovered he had gotten into a relationship with a girl I had a bad feeling about during the last 3 months of our relationship. As painful as it was in the beginning to learn of the horrid news, it allowed me to change my lifestyle and seek help through friends and family. After 6 months of no contact, he reached out to me a week after graduating from college. I was very surprised to hear from him since he is an avoidant person and I'm an anxious attachment person. Sounds like me. I decided to see him a month later after he reached out to me and he regretted breaking up and getting into a rebound relationship. It took all summer for me to gain his trust and to genuinely see if his intentions were real and pure. When the time came to see what we were, we ultimately decided to stay as friends since he was going to graduate school and I was going to work full time in our hometown. He thought it would be too sudden to get back into a relationship after experiencing a traumatic breakup. I agree with the situation because we were both going on different paths and perhaps we would take the time to see what would work best for us. He would try to communicate as best as he could, but he was always extremely busy with school and other activities, so I would understand his schedule. The last time we spoke was on his birthday back in mid-September, and I wished him the best. My birthday was this past Thursday, and I did not receive a message or call from him. It really hurt me to not hear from him. Oh no, it scrolled up. It really hurt me to not hear from him, let alone on my special day. My body was telling me that something was wrong with his sudden change in behavior since mid-September. His ex from his rebound relationship is also attending the same school as him. And I have seen clips of the two of them together doing friend activities with other people. Of course, I knew his ex would be around him since they are both executive officers of the same club, but I could not help but shake the fear that they might have gotten back together since his birthday. Maybe there's something else going on in his life that may not have to do with his ex, but I can't think of anything since he has left me in the dark. I'm going to have you read the last paragraph. It's a long one.
Let me know your, During those months of no contact, I was healing and in a much better place than I was at the beginning of the breakup. When he initially reached out, I made it very clear that I did not want to let him back in my life if he had the wrong intentions or was planning on using me. Same conversation I had.
Ding, ding.
I feel like I got the reassurance from him after seeing and talking to him during the summer. However, I feel like he doesn't care about me since he did not bother to reach out for me on my birthday. I just do not understand this change in behavior with him ghosting me for almost 2.5 months now. I don't even want to reach out and find out what has been going on just because I'm so tired of putting effort into a friendship where he values me differently. I'm trying to learn to accept the way things are and let go of people who are bad at communicating and do not see me as a priority. Let me know your thoughts on the general question since I am sure a number of us have experienced this.
I think we kind of answered it, to be honest, but I do want to add on a little bit.
Yeah.
He didn't reach out to you during your birthday. You're upset.
Yeah.
You were turned off by that, and you're allowed to be. If someone doesn't show up for you, and we just talked about this in our previous episode, and that bothers you, Remember that, because that's not someone that it seems like you don't want someone who's not going to show up for you the way that you show up for them, because you wished him a happy birthday.
Yeah.
And he's not doing the same.
I agree. And I also think that you have to be the first thing, and I know it's easier said than done, but you cannot have expectations from this person.
No.
This person has not, and I said it in the last couple episodes, I can't remember which ones. Expectations from someone that has, when they've done nothing to show you that that's what you would get out of them, that you're putting yourself in a position where you are bound to be disappointed.
Yeah.
And I think that he has shown you have given more than enough chances. And I get it. Like, we want to see the best in people. I also think that it's hard, but you're making scenarios in your head with what he's doing when you don't know what's happening.
You were about to say, I'm assuming, you were saying this in the email, I'm assuming he's doing this, but I said this in the last episode. Who told you that?
Yeah.
Did he tell you that he's doing that, or are you just assuming?
And sorry, go ahead.
No, but I was going to say, I can't assume this is true because I don't know the guy.
Yeah.
But from what I'm sensing, because he's in school with his ex, or, I think he's trying to have his cake and eat it too. Mm-hmm. He wants you. I think he does want a part of you, but he also enjoys this freedom that he has.
And I think that it should be very telling to you. Look at it from the perspective of the other girl too. For him, he must not really care about her that much. If she was, another thing I say, someone that moves on very quickly, it shows me that they do not have a standard with who has access to them.
Yeah.
And you're just going out and picking the next person so that you can feed your ego, because you are not able to get that validation within yourself.
Mm-hmm. It's so interesting because that happened to me. And I remember with a situation like a year ago that happened to me where I found out that he made out with someone, which is whatever. I just found out. And I remember being really upset about that. But then I remember thinking, if he's moving on so quickly, he really hasn't taken the time to heal and to kind of fix certain things about himself that he admitted to me. And he's just allowing anyone to have access to him.
But that's what's embarrassing.
Right.
Like, I think that now we see it and we're like, oh my God. Like, the thing with us now is we would rather take the time to, I am not going to come back and try to get revenge in the way that, just to get back at them. Like, I'm not going to go out just because my ex, he went out as soon as we ended things that day. I broke up with him. He found someone that same night. I would never do that. I think that's embarrassing.
Yeah. I actually take the time. I think something you and I do is we take the time to kind of just be with ourselves and to reflect on the relationship, realize what we liked and didn't like, both on their end and our end, because we're not perfect either. And I think that with your last relationship, and I know I keep referring back to it, but I remember the first time you guys dated, I would consider you unhealed. And I wouldn't say just unhealed in terms of
I was so
where
unhealed.
you are now. Yeah. Because I know right now you are the best version of yourself.
Yes.
And back then I remember you were a little bit more insecure. We were both partying a little bit more. Our priorities weren't there. So how would you say, so right now, I think that this guy that, guy is unhealed. This guy that
he's a lot unhappier than you think he is.
You think he might be living his best life, but he misses you. But I also think he just feels like he can't fully give you what you want.
And he can't deliver. And because if someone is completely over, and you guys had 3 years together, you don't just forget about that. Right. And you don't just, but I think also another piece of advice I would give you, stop torturing yourself by looking to see if they are together, if he's in videos, if she's in his videos. I think that you have to really, if it's muting his stories, if it's you, and not going out and looking for that, because guess what? You have to ask yourself, what benefit is, if I see this, what benefit is it bringing to me? Yeah. And I think that a big thing for when we saw our last relationships with someone else, it was more for us, like, this is actually confirmation that right now, like, at least for me, it was like, I am not meant to be with this person.
Yeah.
It was like a big light bulb moment. I needed that to happen instead of me wondering, maybe he is a good guy.
Yeah. You were just waiting for the day. I think we were both waiting for the day where they would grow up, and we didn't want to leave because we're like, and I do have faith that they will grow up and they will realize what they lost. But
one more than other.
We're not going to stick through it with them until they realize that, because by that time we're probably both going to have moved on. And
I know, like for me, I have, and I'm very happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
Like, and you're so happy too.
I think I've healed. The way that I've healed is that I've realized what my worth is, and I realized that I will not allow anyone to disrespect me, disrespect my time, and string me along just because they want to have me, but they also want to have fun and enjoy their life too.
100%. And I think that also our values have changed, and you need to I think that this is the best time per the email, and you're so sweet. We really were.
Thank you.
That message
I'm glad
was
you found us. Thank you, TikTok algorithm.
Literally. And I think that you need to really now do a deep dive with yourself, and really now's the time that, and everyone comes back. Yeah. Trust me when I say, but you can't have that expectation though. And you have to really put that energy into yourself now and take this as a wake up call to really change what you look for. And how are you going to find someone that's actually worthy of you if you are still hung up on that?
Yeah.
And
also, sorry to interrupt you, but remember who you are. We don't know you personally, but I can tell by the email that you have the biggest heart, and you give and you show up. And I think that I will tell you that when I was healing in 2020 from my ED, I'm going to say ED for name purposes. I took an entire year of not dating, of not doing anyone, of not making out with anyone, not seeing anyone, not doing anything, because I was healing my relationship with myself, and I would never put someone else through what I was going through. And I think it's so important to remind yourself, and whether that is taking some time off of dating, whatever it may be for you, remind yourself of who you are.
1,000%. And I think a big thing is, and I will say this, please, for the sake of other people, heal before you date.
Yeah.
It is just, for me, now it's the way I am now, and in where I'm at and with the person I'm with, I am a new human. Mm-hmm. I am just, and I am at peace and so happy. And it's a feeling I am not used to. And I think that you have to we put people through hell because we're not healed. Mm-hmm. And this guy is not healed.
I can tell he's not healed.
And you're the thing with you too, it was he is not healed. He wanted you, and he wanted to be with you and have you, but he was not in it was
I think he wanted to, and I keep saying this, but he wanted to have his cake and eat it too. I think a lot of men love the single life. And I used to love the single life. I used to be out and about, talking to fun. So many people, but I don't want that anymore. And I think that's just growing up and realizing that I really just want that one special person. Yeah. But it seems like he is at a place where he wants to have his cake and eat it too. And why he came back, what I can tell you for a fact is it's not that he doesn't like you. He likes you, but I think he just wants to remind himself that he has you just in case, things, he has you there just in case.
And I think that it's for him, I want to have this period in my life now, and then we can revisit.
Right.
And
just kind of touching base. It's just checking in, touching base.
But once you heal and work on yourself, what you my eyes opened completely to what I wanted and what I deserved. Mm-hmm. And then you're able to also deliver in a relationship because I have also changed the way I communicate.
Yeah.
I can't, and I was telling Ricky, I was I can't expect people to read my mind.
No, you can't expect anyone to read your mind.
And relationships are working at it and being able and not being, but I've never felt comfortable to come to someone and say, this is what I need.
You know what's so interesting? And I was thinking about this the other day. I was I think I'm still healing from that. Sometimes I'm honestly, let's say if you were to tell me right now, pick up the phone and text this one person who like, you know who I'm talking about, and say this, which is what, you know, what I really mean, would you do it? I wouldn't. And I'm like, why are we so scared to communicate?
Yeah, we're so scared. And you know what it is like this whole, and my mom and I were talking about dating too. And this whole like dancing around and like being like, it's cool to not care.
Yeah.
It is not cool to not care. That's like, what does that say? It means you're weak. It means you are in a place. And that's the thing with what's the experiences we've had is and I always say you'd rather be the person who gave more, who had the best intentions, who delivered, who did everything to make the relationship work, and to walk away with grace.
Yeah. I also feel like one of the reasons why we don't communicate is because we as human are scared of rejection.
Yeah.
We're all scared of rejection, whether or not we want to admit it or not.
Yeah.
But I wish we weren't, because rejection is actually redirection. So if that's not for you, then it's on to the next, and you're getting that clarity.
And I think, and I always say, I think that you guys will have a conversation where like you and that person eventually, and I think it's going to happen because it was left so open-ended. And that's the sense I get. But I'm really proud of Jackie, the way that she's, you know what it is like you're so calm and in such a place of peace.
I am.
And it shows, like when we're unhappy, it really shows. And I think that it's because you've seen your value and you've seen that it has nothing to do with you. Yeah.
I also think that I've worked through a lot of situations, and I haven't even spoken about this yet, but I've had a lot of dating situations where I felt like I was either hidden or I was replaced for someone else. And I was actually thinking about it this week because I'm trying to like really dig deep into my past.
Yeah.
And I had, for example, like a relationship in high school where I always felt like he was hiding me. And then we had a great relationship, and then I found out he cheated on me, and then he ended up dating that one girl, and they were very public. And it was like, why weren't you public with me? And then I had a situation around college, or actually right after college, where this guy, and I hate to say this, but this guy was dating a girl and I really liked him and we were friends. And then him and I one night made out, and I thought like, oh my gosh, we're going to end up together. But I'm not praising that. I don't like that I did that, but I think that I was so sure that him and I were going to end up together. Yeah. And then he never spoke to me again, one word. So it's like, why did you do that? So I think I'm still healing from situations where I felt like I wasn't, the chosen one, but I've definitely grown and I've healed a lot. And now I know my worth, and I know that I used to think it had to do with my image, and I know that's not it.
You're also like a goddess. So like literally that's what I think that you see, but people that feel that way about themselves made you feel that way.
Right. Exactly. And again, it was these kind of people that weren't ready for a relationship. And because of that, I assumed it had to do with me when it didn't. So what I want to tell you, emailer watching this, who sent us such sweet, kind messages, it doesn't have to do with you. I do think he cares about you, but I just don't think that he is there in life.
He doesn't care about himself right now.
He doesn't care about himself.
So you can't expect someone that doesn't care about themselves and, hurt people hurt others.
Yes.
Unhealed people will not, you can't expect them to deliver in a way. It's just, it's not going to happen. Yeah. And unless he works on himself. And do you really want that? Do you want no relationship should be you going through with a pit in your stomach. And I think that you guys have so much history for you to have a friendship with him right now. Yeah. A friendship, like you say, our friendship, but I think that also you are expecting too much out of him when you're too good. You're too good for that. And it's easier said than done, but you really need to, and stop torturing yourself by start kind of taking your power back, and you're giving your power away by you're feeding your energy into this.
Yeah. By you going on your phone, seeing the stories, looking to see what his friends are doing, you are making the choice to step into that mentality of I'm the victim, not the victim, but I kind of like I want to make myself feel bad because I've done it too. And we've both done it. And we admitted to looking on social media to see what these guys are doing, to see who they're following. Yeah. But when we do that, it's us being like, we want to feel bad.
Yeah.
And why we do that, I don't know. It's human. We love to make ourselves feel
I think that also you have to, again, ask yourself what the consequences of every decision you make are.
Right.
Ask yourself, and we've said it in previous episodes, is this gonna bring me something that is going to make my life better and richer and fuller and bringing me to a place of like my highest good? Or is it going to, there is no good outcome of you looking on, especially someone you're not with, what they're doing.
Yeah. I can tell you this, and something that I would recommend to you. With someone that I dated, I muted his stories for a long time until I felt like I was ready to unmute him.
And like where you're not going to have that emotional charge.
Yes, we both did. Like she unfollowed, I muted.
I removed him as a follower too because there's nothing to see anymore. Yeah. Like for me and him, that is just, it was done.
Yeah, so I think it's okay to be like, right now, this is making me feel bad, so I'm going to stop doing it. And that means, and if you want to let him know that, go ahead.
Yeah.
Hi, this is making me feel bad.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. We just got our Carrot Express order. Yeah. It's okay. And honestly, I feel like this comes with communication. Don't be afraid to tell him, hey, I think you're an incredible friend and I've loved knowing you. Right now, I, for myself and for my sanity, need to step away. I'm going to either remove you on social or mute your stories. Yeah. It is okay to let people know that how they're showing up for you doesn't make you feel good.
100%. It's okay to do that, or it's okay to, you don't owe anyone an explanation. If you feel better about doing the way some people feel better about doing it, it depends on the person and it depends on the dynamic you've had with them. Yeah. So I think that what Jackie's saying is 100% true. Sometimes you gotta,
if you're comfortable, you can say that.
Yeah. And I think that, but there's no wrong way to do it because you have to put yourself first. He has not put you first. So any way you decide to put it, you're able to do that. And there's nothing wrong with it.
Right. Thank you guys for listening to Fill Your Cup with
Srna, Stos,
and Jackie Shamus. If you are not following us on TikTok and Instagram, please follow us at fillyourcup.pod. And if you have any questions you want us to answer on the pod, like we just did, email us at fillyourcupthepod@gmail.com. That is fillyourcupthepod@gmail.com. We'll see you next week.
We love you guys.
Cheers.